Good evening. An unusual but powerful show of solidarity among universities in the Halifax area today as they teamed up with the YWCA to help women who face violence. It's a number that's far greater than you might expect. Experts say 1/2 of Canadian women face physical or sexual violence by the age of 16, and the issue remains shrouded in shame and silence. CTV's Ron Shaw has more.
It began with music and speeches in the Halifax Grand Parade. Women and some men gathered for the Be Strong With Her event. The YWCA and several universities raising money for programs and reaching out to as many people as possible. The Y says it's a bigger problem than most people realize.
Because we're a women's organization staffed by women with a board of only women, it doesn't actually matter what program you're part of, violence enters into the conversation.
The YWCA in Halifax alone is involved in many programs.
On any given night, we'll have as many as 60 women and children living in our different housing programs. And so we also do a micro-lending program for women fleeing domestic violence.
Among those gathered and participating in a protest march, a few who have personal experience of violence who could not talk about what has happened to them. After 30 or 40 years of very serious efforts to raise awareness about violence against women, the issue is still surrounded by silence. Victims still find it very hard to speak out. There are at least some places for women to turn to in urban areas. In rural areas, resources are thin. TESSA Janes of the Acadia University Women's Centre says the need is still great.
We always talk about the first 6 weeks of university are the worst, where we average 2 to 3 sexual assaults per week.
And there always seems to be something more that needs to be done.
Recently we started a anti-trafficking project as well, so we're working on a collaborative response to trafficking, sexual exploitation and trafficking.
For law enforcement, the silence remains deafening.
We know that these kind of offences are highly underreported, so that's why we must need to really start to reach out to community and have more people involved in this conversation.
At the end of the program, dance to raise money for the cause and perhaps a show of strength. One YWCA staff member put it to me this way: for women on the receiving end of violence, it's not just an assault on their bodies, it's an attack on their very identity. Little wonder that it remains so difficult to discuss. Bruce?
All right, thank you, Ron.
You're welcome.
CTV's Ron Shaw reporting live tonight from the News Centre.